tons of students have really bright ideas, and I think it's a prime time right now for those students to become innovators. An optometry student who's thinking of really how to excel, how to stand out, sure you can do that with clinical care, sure you can do that with great grades, research projects, things like that. But me, I aimed for when I was in optometry school, I aimed for the B, purposefully. Every interview I've ever been on, every employer I've ever talked to, you get up to the part about, hey, this was my grade, and they just go, next, not worried about it. How are you presenting yourself? What's your passion? What's your enthusiasm level? What's your long-term goals? They're not worried about the grade aspect. They're more worried about how adaptable are you to learn on the job and to learn their flow in their office. Or, they don't really understand the landscape of online advertising, simple advertising. Or they don't understand very well how to set up direct mail to their customers in a more efficient way because they've been sending out the same recall cards. Focus some time on that and build your ideas around those things that will help build a practice, and you'll find that when you go in, not only with your resume, but with some of your own ideas about what you can bring, you're gonna be talking a different language compared to a lot of the other interviewees in that practice. So for me, I aimed for a B in optometry school rather than the A. And that gave me a certain allotted amount of time. Call it a couple hours a week that I didn't have to go above and beyond in studying. I knew I was gonna pass boards. I knew I wasn't gonna fail out, but I bought myself this extra time to do something really special with. And I think that more optometry students should do that. More of them should innovate, and more of them should bring really, whether small or big, ideas to life. On that note, on that road, on that path, you're gonna start small. You're gonna start with small wins, and then you build and you go bigger. But that's how to stand out. Even if your idea, or whatever that might be, is related directly to the core career path of being a clinician and opening a practice or going into a more of a corporate or larger modality, that's fine. But just make sure you're spending time on that. So separate yourself, do something different. But that time between what it's gonna take you to get the A versus the B, that's a couple really valuable hours per week. And before you make that plunge, think about it. If you have nothing to fill that gap, then go for the A, use that time wisely. But if you think you have something special, you've got to just start. You've got to start small and start with a small win. So nothing, Rome wasn't built in a day, all the sayings, but really you start with real small wins. And that's daunting, I think, because we look to media and we look to the news and we see these wild success stories when they hit the front page and they hit the front line. And you're like, wow, that person made it. And you immediately say, that idea was good. And you think that it was the idea that got them there, and the idea was just to enter the door. It had nothing to do with really getting that business, that program, that effort that far. And so they started with small wins, and they started with failures and hardship. And that's where you need to start too, even if it's something really simple with small wins. And then that'll cascade, and then you'll make the headline.